Welcome back. I'm Teresa Harding. Today we are talking about a topic that can be very difficult. We're talking about depression. I want you to know that I am going to be covering mental health in this channel as well, because better than healthy isn't just physical health. It is your mental health as well. So today it's depression, and depression is something that affects millions of people around the world. Societies everywhere are dealing with this. It's not just feeling sad or going through a difficult period. This is a persistent feeling of sadness and hopelessness that can interfere with your daily life. Sometimes it comes because of life circumstances, maybe the loss of a child, or maybe the loss of a relationship, or something traumatic happens in your life. It can even be the loss of a job, something really difficult that triggers it for you, and then you're having a hard time coming out of it. We all experience times when we're sad, normal sadness, even deep sadness. But for this, we are talking about that persistent feeling that doesn't go away, that's hopeless. It might only have lasted a few days, or it might be lasting longer, but you want to feel happy. You want that to go away. So it's important to understand that everyone feels down or sad sometimes. That is a normal part of life. Sometimes, because depression has become such a big topic, we get the message inside of ourselves that if we feel sad for very long, that somehow we are in depression. That's not necessarily depression. It is always a good idea to work with a professional, to have them help you work through the steps. Because whether it's actually diagnosed depression or not, you're just having a really difficult time and you feel like it might be or that it is, and no one will listen. To have someone who can teach you the tools. It is estimated that over 264 million people worldwide are affected by depression. That's not even counting the families and their associates and the people in relationships with these people that are also affected by it. And that number is continuing to rise. It's already a staggering number, and it's just getting bigger. So it is important to recognize the signs. When someone is starting to go down this path, but when they are going even deeper into a deeper depression, we have to know what that looks like. We have to understand that it really is different for different people. So I'm going to go through 10 different signs that you can look for and be aware of, so that you can be aware for yourself and for your loved ones. Because the sooner you recognize it and are aware, the sooner you can get them help. The sooner you can start dealing with it and helping them to have a support system so they have a better chance of coming out of this healthier. Number one is a persistent feeling of sadness or hopelessness. We've kind of mentioned that, but because everybody has bad days, but when somebody's feeling down and it lasts for a long period of time, it starts to become not their natural self. It could be a sign of depression. Now, be careful, because if you're just watching this video now and you have someone who 10 years ago used to be a, quote, happier person or seemed to be able to find more joy, but they've been more down for the last 10 years, so now you're used to the idea that they're just, that's who they are now, it could be that they've been dealing with depression for a very long time. So remember who that person is and compare the signs to their best self. The second sign is withdrawing from social activities. People with depression may avoid social situations. They might even not want to go to things that they used to enjoy. That can be a sign of depression. Be aware that sometimes people will change their social calendar on purpose. That's different. For example, with me, when I had kids still at home, I wanted to be the influence in their lives. I had chosen to be a stay-at-home mom. And when things would get busy on my calendar and I would start to feel like it was taking me away too much from the things in my family, then I would start to block things on my social calendar. Not because I was depressed, but because I wanted to make a change. Just be aware of that, but also realize that sometimes we're really good at lying to ourselves. We might be telling ourselves, well, I'm doing this because it will be healthier, but really it's because we're withdrawing. So don't overthink it, don't overanalyze it, just be aware, be healthy about it, and take steps if you see signs and you or someone you love is starting to become a person who is different, not as happy, not as joyful as they used to be. Number three, changes in appetite. Depression can cause changes in your appetite, either leading to weight gain or weight loss. So be watching for unusual changes, maybe in your children or in the people you love. If you start to notice this and you're concerned, Start asking questions, get involved, and don't let the attitude that I have my privacy keep you out of their life. For example, for your children, sometimes a teenager will act like, let me have my privacy. This is not your business. I'm fine. You know what? It is your business. You're the parent. You can do it lovingly. You can do it caring. And you can make sure that you are helping them and walking with them through whatever challenges they're going through. Number 4 is difficulty sleeping or oversleeping, either one of those. If someone has insomnia or if they're oversleeping, these are common symptoms of depression. Number 5, fatigue. People with depression often feel way more tired than normal. They may even sleep more and still feel more tired. So if you are feeling more lethargic and it's consistent, even if you've had enough sleep, it could be a health challenge that you need to look into what's going on, because it could be depression, it could be something going on with your health. You want to be aware and you want to be working with professionals who can help you take the steps needed. Number 6 is difficulty concentrating. Depression can make it really difficult to concentrate. So you know your own level of concentration, or the people around you who you love. If someone is struggling, you can tell if there's a difference. For example, I have a friend who, she's in her 80s and she is so alert and active, probably more active than a lot of people my age. And her mind is quick. When we talk, we're back and forth, but she hit her head, and all of a sudden it was different. Now, this is obviously not caused because of depression, but all of a sudden she was a different person. I know her, and she would forget words. She was starting to do things. She'd forget where we were in the conversation. And I know her, so I know this is not the way she is. Anyone else who talked to her and knew she was in her 80s might think, oh yeah, this is normal. But I know that's not normal for her. So you know who you are. You know what you recognize in your own life and the way that you talk and the way you interact with people. If you are noticing a difference in your concentration and the way that you communicate, the way you talk, the way you think, whether you're able to concentrate when you're reading or watching a show, pay attention to that. Acknowledge that it could matter. Number 7 is feelings of worthlessness or feelings of shame, like somehow you're not enough. Depressed people often feel shame for things that they didn't do wrong, or they feel guilty for something they didn't do. And they take it on themselves, or they feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they're not worth enough. Well, let me tell you something right now. Your worth never changes. Your worthiness, how well you're taking actions or doing the things you want to be doing in your life, the things you wish that you were doing, that can change, but that's a behavior. Your worth never changes. That's your value. That's who you are. Number 8 is physical symptoms. Depression can cause physical symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, back pain. It's weird. It can be pain in the knee. All of a sudden, weird things start happening to the body. Look at what's going on. Look at how you're feeling. Look at your mental state. Be aware that this can be one of the signs of depression. Number 9 is substance abuse. This could be, for me, would be ice cream. Okay, we're not just talking drugs. Yes, drugs, alcohol, but whatever it is the person uses to cope. It could be extreme sports, like doing extreme activities that could kill them, and they don't want to ever, they can't get enough. It could be that you're eating way too much, or you are hoarding, or you're doing drugs. It could be alcohol. It could be that you're speeding too much. It could be that you start some other addiction like stealing. It can be any different behaviors. Now, these things can happen because someone has had a trauma. There are other things that can cause this. But if you're working with a professional, they will help you identify what the challenge is. But this is one of the signs of depression. And number 10 is thoughts of self-harm or suicide. This is really important that you are aware of this. Even if you just have the thought once or twice, if you are having the desire to do this, I want you to get help right away. Because you may have tried a therapist before and you didn't like them, or you felt like they were not any good, they didn't help you. Well, I will tell you this, a therapist is like any other doctor. You have to find the one that's good for you. Have you ever been to a doctor where you think, they don't even listen to what I say, their bedside manner is horrible, I don't like the way they do it, I'm not using that doctor? That's exactly what you need to do with a therapist, with somebody who can help you work through this, or a psychologist, or whatever it is, the person that you choose to support you. And don't feel bad to pick and choose. Find the one that's best for you. And the most important message of all is, if you or someone you know is experiencing depression, there is hope. There are so many effective treatments that are available, including therapy, medication, lifestyle changes. It is essential to seek help from a mental health professional as soon as possible when you recognize that this is what's happening, so that you can prevent it from getting worse. There are skills, there are strategies, there are tools that you can learn that will change your life. You will not believe the things you can learn to take charge of, to be empowered with, to take control over. So it's important to remember that depression is a treatable condition. And with the right support and treatment, people can and do recover from this. Don't believe that you will never be happy again. Don't believe that there is no hope. There is hope. Hang on to my hope until you can get your own. Do not hesitate to seek help if you are struggling with depression, or if you know someone who is. The first step towards recovery is reaching out for help. I'm going to say that again. The first step is reaching out for help. If you try to keep it all private and you don't want people to know that you're having a hard time, I am telling you right now, you are making your road way more rocky than it needs to be. You will be shocked at how much the people around you can love and support you. And you know what? There may be people around you that you don't feel like you can trust. You find someone you can. You deserve to live a life that is fulfilling, and it is never too late to start taking steps toward achieving that. Because I don't believe that you have to be just healthy, or just physically healthy, or just okay mentally except for your depression. I don't believe that. I believe you can be better than healthy.